Purpose of earthly existence as a human being. BD number 8571. July 27, 1963. Consider your human existence purely as a brief chapter of an infinitely long period of development which, however, is of immense importance, because during this short time you have to make your decision of will which determines your fate in eternity. For you can bring this process of development to a conclusion, but you can also prolong it again for an infinitely long time, which signifies beatitude or agony for your soul, the human being's real self. Thus you yourselves make this decision as a human being. You humans do not spend much thought on it, but the time of your earthly life passes by quickly and then its result will take effect. Time and again you are informed of it, and yet you pay little attention to what you are told, or you would live consciously and make an effort to strive for the right goal. But then you must also believe in a God and Creator to whom you owe your existence, and by making contact with Him you will also receive the strength to live your life according to His will. You must be aware of this God and Creator in order to submit yourselves to Him and His will. And you must know the reason for your existence as a human being, in order to live expediently on earth, i.e., to reach the goal on account of which you live on earth. You will not be kept in ignorance. Time and time again God's will shall be proclaimed to you, no matter in what manner it will happen. For God speaks to people, He addresses them directly as soon as the conditions for it have been fulfilled. Or He will enlighten a person through mediators. Yet He will never leave people without knowledge about His will, since this knowledge enables them to live their earthly life correctly and thus complete their development while they are living on earth. However, they can also keep a closed mind to every explanation. They can distance themselves from God, become disbelievers and refuse to accept any deeper reasons for living on earth. They can merely deem themselves as inhabitants of a creation, whose life is purely an end in itself, and only deal with their life from this point of view. Then they do not accept God's will either, who requires a life of love, but their own will predominates, which is purely based on selfish love, which only would like to provide itself with the greatest possible pleasure and will only ever consider itself but never its fellow human being. A person like that is thinking completely wrongly, and unless he changes he will never ever reach his goal on earth. He will live his earthly life in vain and prepare a dreadful fate for his soul. But neither can he be prevented from it, since he has free will, and he will not be deprived in any way either as far as the recognition of truth is concerned, since he will always receive it in some form or other. He need only form the right opinion of it and his soul will derive the right benefit too. However, precisely this forming of an opinion is omitted by him. He will be satisfied with that which he can comprehend with his earthly senses, the world and its possessions, and he will let himself be captured by them and never take a step forward in his development, because every condition is missing for it, such as love and heartfelt contact with God, through which he could attain inner realization and which testify to his correctly focused will. But the human being's will is free and also has to be free during his life on earth, so that he can make a decision and once again have the opportunity to enter his original state and to become as he had been in the beginning. For he would never be able to attain supreme beatitude were he to remain an unfree being and unable to voluntarily take the path to God, who will guarantee this utmost bliss. Everything that came forth from him as a free being must remain in this freedom and desire to reach him, then it will also be and remain very happy without limitation. God's created beings once forfeited this freedom and were in a wretched state which lasted for eternities, yet one day God will return this freedom to them, but only for the purpose of their final return to Him, for the purpose of making a free decision for or against Him. Nevertheless, time and again the human being's attention will be drawn to the meaning and purpose of earthly existence. And one day he will also have to justify himself, because every person will sooner or later be informed of the fact that he only lives on earth for the sake of a purpose. And anyone who seriously tries to ascertain this purpose will also receive enlightenment. In everything that happens to him he will be able to discover a wise guidance. Then he will also begin to realize the purpose of his earthly life and endeavor to live up to it. He will live responsibly and soon learn to recognize and love his God and Creator. Then he will truly not live his earthly life in vain. He will inwardly mature and soon attain the right goal, his union with God through love. He will recognize the significance of life on earth and do whatever it takes in order to bring one period of development to conclusion, so that he will be released from every physical form, from every chain, and be able to enter the kingdom of light and beatitude when his hour has come. Amen.